Look, it's time we had a serious and honest conversation about political violence in this country. And of course, the moment that you say something like that, people start running to their corners. And one side says, what about January 6th? And the other side says, what about the riots, the attacks, the threats, the assassination attempts? I mean, there's been 3 now. And before anything productive happens in the conversation, it turns into finger pointing and whataboutisms. So let's start here, and I'm going to be crystal clear. Political violence is wrong no matter which side does it. But right now, there's a glaringly obvious issue that a lot of people are afraid to say out loud. There are radicalized people on the left who have convinced themselves that the threats, intimidation, harassment, destruction, and violence are justified because they believe that their political opponents are truly evil. And you can attribute that to the rhetoric that's been spewed by the left. He's a Nazi. He's the next Hitler. At some point, that's going to radicalize somebody enough to actually take action. But that's not activism, and that's not resistance, and that is just pure radicalization. Pretending that it doesn't exist does not make it go away. When somebody threatens a political figure, attacks somebody at a rally, vandalizes property, celebrates political violence, or talks openly about hurting people they disagree with, that should be condemned immediately. Not explained away, not excused, and not buried under the pile of whataboutisms. It needs to be condemned, period. Full stop. The problem is, too, that many people just recognize political violence when the other team does it. If someone on the right does something violent, every conservative in America is expected to answer for it. And a lot of the times we do, and we will condemn it outright. But when somebody on the left does something like that or something violent, suddenly we get lectures about nuance and context and oppression or how it was someone on the other side's fault. No, that standard is broken. You do not get to claim that you're defending democracy while tolerating violence against your political opponents. It doesn't work that way. You do not get to say that words are violence and then act like violence is the justification of the frustration. It's just hypocrisy, plain and simple, and it's dangerous. Because once people really start to believe that their opponents are not just wrong, they're pure evil, subhuman, and a threat to everything and they must be eliminated, violence becomes easier to justify. And we have to be honest about this too. Many politicians, media figures, activists, and influencers are pouring gasoline on the fire because outrage gets clicks, donations, votes, and attention. That has to stop. Condemning political violence on the left does not mean ignoring political violence on the right either. Condemning political violence on the right does not mean ignoring political violence on the left. A serious country should be able to say 2 things at the same time. Violence is wrong. And anybody encouraging it, excusing it, or selectively condemning it is part of the damn problem. We need accountability. We need leaders to lower the temperature. We need media outlets to stop excusing extremism when it comes from their preferred side. And we need ordinary Americans to stop cheering when bad things happen to people that they hate politically. You can hate somebody's politics, but still recognize their humanity. You can believe somebody is wrong without wanting them destroyed. And you can fight for what you believe in without becoming the thing that you claim to oppose. So yes, we do need to talk about radicalization on the left. We need to address it, and it needs to stop. And we need to stop excusing it. We need to make clear that in a free country, you win with better ideas, better arguments, better leadership, and better persuasion. Not threats, not mobs, not intimidation, and not violence. Because once violence becomes acceptable against your enemies, it will eventually become acceptable for everyone.